guys. Thanks for coming on over. This is the Nocturnal feeding, and hopefully we just got people that came from alcohol. And what's your
Aquaholics Anonymous?
Okay, thank you. And
the place for addicted fish nerds.
Yes, I wasn't able to get the chat up, so I'm going blind here. I was like, click, 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 and it was going slow, and then it was like the music's almost over. I got to get over. So, oh my gosh, we got a whole mess of people.
We do.
You know what? You want to say hi to people while
Absolutely.
I get that up?
Go for it. We got 43 people watching, 23 thumbs up so far. Thank you for that, because I think this guy deserves it. I had to swap sides now. But we've got Colored Guppies, T-Bone, Ed's picking up Cichlids. I still have that name. Dead Fred is in here with us as well. Cichlids 23, how's it going? John Cox, Benoxy's Tanks, what is up? Danican Aquatics, Mississippi Hippie, hey, how are you? Good to see you. Pat and Jess Cole, Pepley Creek Aquatics, Priscilla MK, Candy Overhauls, thank you for being here. Sarah Lynn Snow, Anthony's Fishy Friends, Dragon Lair, Chris John, rolling on through here. Oh, it jumped on me. I think I got JRB Aquatics, John Cox. It jumped, but I think it. Yeah, most of the people I'm seeing in there. Sand Creek Aquatics too, Amy, hello. Sherry Kramer, Tim Carter, good to see you all. So thank you for being here. And everybody else, if I missed your name, I'm sorry. And the lurkers, thank you for being here as well.
Okay, there was one thing we didn't talk about, and I got the Easy Green tabs.
Good stuff.
This is from last show. Have you used these?
Yeah. Now, I've not used the new little capsule green updated things.
So I've never used tabs, but I thought I would do it for Nathan's plants because they're in gravel, and I just thought it'd be good. Of course, I can't open them real quick on camera, but now you just take. Oh wow, these things look delicious.
Yeah, there's your vitamins for the day,
and you get a lot of them in that little bag.
So they have got two options on those.
That is awesome. I thought I was getting like 12. It's a little bag, but it's the whole pack.
Paul Sotero, how are you? Pewfish Zone, Carrie Habercorn, thank you for being here. Pazetics, multiple aquariums. Yeah, so you can either get the 20 capsules for $9.99 or you can get the 60 capsules for $24.99.
I think I got.
Don't eat the Tide Pods, says Sarah Lynn Snow. Yes, don't eat the Tide Pods. Hopefully we, I think we've got enough. Most of the people that are smart enough to make their way here probably know not to eat the Tide Pods, I would hope. Don't feed them to your fish either.
Yes. Okay. So I want to talk about a rumor going on real quick.
Oh.
I heard through the grapevine that Aquashella Dallas has been canceled for this year.
I hadn't heard
that. Have you heard that?
I had not, but I also have been kind of out of the loop the past couple weeks.
I heard that Jadron Aquatics announced that on his show. So I don't know if anybody knows. Chevy Fish said that
yes, I heard.
She has heard it. Okay, so yes, Aquashella 2020 has been canceled.
And that sucks because I literally just pulled our tickets up again earlier on my phone just to make sure I hadn't lost them, which I've got backup copies, but I just before the streams earlier pulled up the tickets to make sure we still had them.
Well, next year they're doing it again on Dallas at Halloween. I want to see if they would let us transfer those to Orlando, maybe.
Yeah.
I know they wouldn't let us transfer them to Chicago, but that's maybe because they thought they were going to cancel that. But I bet you they'll think that Colorado would be awesome. But Orlando is a guarantee thing. So how's that sound to you?
That sounds fine to me.
And I think it's in March, so maybe we could even go to Disneyland one day because the crowds won't be there yet.
Right.
Just throwing that out there.
We got Father Fish is down there in Florida, you know.
Yeah, he might like Disneyland too. But if you guys ever get a chance to, or not Disneyland, Disney World, if you ever get a chance to go to Disney World on like during the non-peak times, it is so much more fun because you can just get the parks are so built for such massive amounts of people. You can just go right on each ride during the slow seasons. It's the only way to go. I will never go in the summer again. Well, I won't say that because, I mean, if somebody asked me to go, I will. But I would try not to do that. And then there's also alligator like gardens and places like that. We could go and check out gators. It'd be just a super fun trip.
I like that, Daniken. Daniken says, okay, Ed and James, have them credit you toward your flight to Portland so you can say shenanigans. Yes.
Now, yeah, I've got a free flight that has a layover in Dallas and then flies to Vancouver, Canada. So I can go to Dallas for free one time. Actually, twice, because it'd be a layover on both sides, and I bet you they'd let you split it out.
Right. Yeah, so Petzotic said the dates for Dallas this year are still on the website. I see that, but they're slow, I guess.
Yeah, I was really surprised because they were talking about how excited they were to make it a Halloween theme. And I have a great Halloween costume for Aquashella that I was hoping to use. But, oh well, I might do the Halloween. Last year I did a Halloween, show for, it was an aquarium co-op opening. We probably shouldn't have talked about all this aquarium co-op stuff. I could have done that as a yearly thing. But, yeah, maybe I'll do another show dressed up goofy. But
yes. So Candy said they canceled it yesterday.
Okay.
Or the day before. But yeah, I've noticed they've always been slow to update their websites. Not fussing at them, but their websites have never been, 100% on point with the cancellation or the date notifications.
Now, the coolest thing in the world, though, for going to Chicago would be to meet Candy because she's so cool.
Yes.
So, but Orlando's first on the list, so I think that's what our goal should be.
I agree.
That's cool with you.
That's
awesome.
Cool with me.
And then we'll have to check how that jives. I can't believe I used the word jives. How that jives with the big fish deal. Because I'm sure we're also going to want to do the big fish deal.
And I'm hoping all these things will come back next year.
Yeah, well, we know the big fish deal will. So, well, maybe not. I guess yeah.
I mean, it kind of happened right at the start of everything. So it was kind of, we got there and things were okay, and we left and the world had imploded upon itself, just over that weekend we were gone there.
Yep.
But hopefully everything will fall back into place for next year. That would be nice.
You know what? While we're talking Halloween, I'm going to do a shameless ask.
Okay.
I am searching for a clear plastic skull. I'm making a thing for Priscilla for her Halloween costume, and I want it to look really good because I'm making this thing, and I don't want it to look bad. So if you guys see a clear plastic skull, please let me know where you saw it. Because for some reason, all of our Halloween stores have closed down near me. We've got one that's an hour drive. It's terrible. So maybe we'll see a Halloween store on our way to Indianapolis this week.
I'm trying to find it. We had somebody ask, I think it was Maine's Tails, Fur and Fins. Somebody had asked if anybody's decorated their tanks for Halloween. I've seen people do that before. I've not done any Halloween-themed tanks. Cichlids23 says, how does Ed know what you're going to be for Halloween, Priscilla?
Because I'm making a thing for it. Well, you see, she was supposed to meet us up at Aquashella, and she couldn't carry what she needed on the plane. So she asked me if I could bring it because I'm driving. And then I said, I'll just make it. So that's how I know. But I'm not going to tell anybody what it is because I never tell people Halloween costumes because it's no fun to let the cat out of the bag. It's always so much more fun to be a surprise. It's kind of like Christmas. You don't want to know what your gifts are.
Yep.
But other two events that James and I are going to be going to, we are going to be going to Indianapolis this weekend, and that is a car swap, and it is from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, the Circle C. I'm not for sure where.
I feel like it was 10 to 3. It might have been 10 to 2, but I thought it was.
Yeah, I think it is 10 to 3. And so what we're going to do is we're going to drive up there Saturday, and we're going to just get there at the beginning and just enjoy it. And we'll probably stay for the whole thing, but you never know. And then I don't know if we're going to eat afterwards or if we're just going to just jump in the car and head home or what. But so that's kind of our plans for this weekend. And then the following weekend, we're going to be going to Lexington. And do you know any of the information on that?
I don't. Goodness, I had the information last week. I need to find it again. I'll have to pull up my phone to look at it. I think it was Select Pet was who sent me the info on that last week. So let me see if I can find it. Hold, please.
Oh, see, Tom Patterson, he is on it. The Circle City Aquarium Clubs. Trunk swap, September 27th. And I'll just let you guys all read that. But it's from, it is at 2. It ends at 2.
Okay, good deal. I kind of like that because you get some really good deals at the end of it. And I'd like to make sure that we hit the end of it, hopefully.
It was funny because we were doing the Saturday live stream while we were at the very end and people were packing up. And so I was buying stuff and then people were handing me stuff too. It was pretty neat. They are such nice people. James and I are both going to become members of the Circle C Aquarium Club this weekend too. It's been something I've been wanting to do for almost 2 years. So I'm kind of excited to finally be able to be back in a club, even though it's like a 5-hour drive. It's still,
but it's LRB's club, so you can't really complain being part of LRB's club. You know, you got Tom Patterson and other awesome people too.
Yep, and Haley.
Yep.
I was gonna say, and Tom's, since he's here too. But yeah, but everybody there was so nice to us. I mean, there wasn't a jerk in the whole pack. There was even some nice guy from the Cincinnati club. But yep. You guys find out where your local clubs are and go join them because it's well worth it. And I mean, like we're driving 5 hours, 6 hours to do it just because it's a good time.
Here we go. All right. So the parking lot aquarium swap by Bluegrass Fish Keepers Association is going to be in Lexington, Kentucky, Saturday, October 10th at 10 a.m. And you can go to their Facebook page. Here, I'll drop a link. Just a second. I'm putting it in the wrong chat, but that'll be okay. It'll just look like Ed dropped the link.
Yeah. Type. Zen Ginger asked me to go to my...
And I didn't spell Kentucky right either because I was trying not to knock my drink over to get to the keyboard, but you get the point.
I bet you Zen maybe found an awesome skull or something, but I can't go and look because my phone right now is being set up for the second part of our show. What I'm going to use is I'm going to use my phone to try to show you guys. Let me turn down my phone. A little bit about what I can't turn my phone down. There we go. Sorry, folks. Okay. I want to show you guys my fish that I brought in from my tubs. I want to talk about my 2 tubs. I had a yellow tub and a blue tub of guppies. And I took in the blue tub the first day, and it was the one that I had the most fish that I was really excited about. I was guessing I had 200 to 400 fish in there. And when I pulled them all out, I think I had about 4,000 guppies. So that was super fun. But I also had 10 Dragonfly Nymphs at the bottom of the tank. So we'll talk about that versus the numbers that I lost versus the other tank. I had yellows in that tank. Both tanks are 110 gallons, exact same temperature, same light, same everything. And my yellows, I ended up with maybe 220, 250 yellow guppies. But I ended up with about 2,000 tadpoles. Or not 2,000, about 200 tadpoles. And these tadpoles are tree frogs, so they're not big ones. So I was told that the leopard and the Tennessee gray tree frogs only ate algae, but I think they're eating fry. But James, do you got the second link?
I've got it if you're ready.
Yep. Okay, so this is what's going on. I'm going over to my fish tanks. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the predators that we had. I don't know why I have a hanger on the table, but oh, it was in my hoodie. This is the size of the tadpoles. He's going away from the camera. There we go. So they're super small tadpoles, but I still think they were big enough to eat the fry because there weren't any mosquitoes at all in there. So they're super cute frogs. And, you know, I was kind of excited to have them because they were so much fun. But what's that?
I would say the tadpoles I had, they were always swimming upside down, munching on the bottom side of the duckweed.
Yeah, well, I saw them eating the hair algae. Those things right there are dragon nymphs. I think they're two different types. There was like I found 5 of these dark brown ones and then 5 of these smaller yellow ones. Let's see if I go to the side of the tank. A tank, you know, it's just they are little nasties.
Yeah, little alien looking things.
So those guys, I think, were pounding my guppies.
Yeah, those are fry murderers right there if you've never encountered those before.
But those were in the tank. Now this tank used to have, it was a grow out tank. So I should have cleaned the algae off the sides. But as you can see, there are bajillions of fry in here that I pulled out of that tub. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these females from the males as they mature. And I'm going to show you guys another spot where I'm going to put them. But, well, let's just stick with the blues right now. What happened was I had bought like 5 or 6 real pretty blue tuxedos a couple of years ago in Knoxville. And I never had any females. And so I went to a local pet store. It wasn't Aquatic Aesthetics. It was a different one. And they said that I was buying blue deltas. And I thought, well, let's see what they make out of the blue delta females. Well, I don't think they were blue delta females. I think I was getting endlers. But I've got some crazy neat endlers. Let's see. I'm just going to show you. This is the adults from the tubs. There, right there is one of the boys. That's like an alpha boy with the yellow top. You know, you really, the camera's not doing him justice. But let's see, these guys have split tails and they're just beautiful. So my goal is to try to get a strand of these guys going, you know, and be consistent. And so I'm just going to keep pulling virgin females and testing. And the females will be going down into these things. This one's going to right on the end, but well, or just waiting for them. And then what I did was I separated just kind of a lot of the mutt guppies from those 2 tanks. And then this tank has, Oh, I didn't know what was going on behind me. These guys have leopard skin. I've got about 10 of them, but they're a rainbow leopard skin. And the light's not really doing these guys justice either. I got this head thing in Father Fishes. It's going to go in with Pam's rice fish tank once I get it. But right now the water's a little cloudy because I put the shell bag I made at the beginning of the year to keep the water hard in the back of the tank because it was just filled with good stuff, and I just wanted to throw it in there. So, but right now the tanks are kind of cloudy from that.
Candy said that guy resembles you a bit, Ed.
Oh, well, thank you. It actually looks just like my mother. No, her ears are much longer. But yeah, these guys, I wish they would come right out to the side for me because they are fantastic. So I thought it'd be really neat to try to get some of these endlers, try to breed trio also. And I can't zoom in on my camera. We tried to do it beforehand, but StreamYards kind of has it in a fixed position.
If you hold still, we get a pretty good quality picture until you start moving again.
Oh, jeepers. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just letting you know because I know it's hard to see what's going on. Oh, yeah. It's really pretty colors and pattern on that.
And there's another lyre tail. I think they're going through the holes. But I'm leaving the girls in here. They've already been hit, so we'll just let them keep making babies in this tank. But I'm going to use the all their fry for my testing. Yeah, there's a real pretty one. Now let's see if I can go over. I'll stop and do the same thing for these lyre tails. They're always just above the camera. Whoops, and then I have my finger in the way.
Oh, those are pretty.
Yeah, they're really neat. They've got kind of a little pastel blue tail.
Priscilla had said to paint a red beard on that head that you had in the first section.
So this is my project. And then up here is going to go in a lot of baby tanks across the top. I've got just one. It's not even set up yet. I've got two more that are empty. They're going to be 5 gallons. And there's plenty of space above that. There's over a foot. And then I'm going to go slow. This is the neat wind chime thing that I got at Father Fishes. But these are the yellows. And they just aren't nearly as popping as the blues.
They're just kind of there.
Yeah. But, I mean, the whole thing was just a learning experience. So I didn't want to put anything super nice into the tanks. And this used to be my farm tank where I was growing plants out. But okay, I'm going to pull back. And maybe we'll just go real slow on these guys. As you can see, there's just a whole mess of them. They're always looking up there for food. I feed them, I'm going to start feeding them the brine shrimp. But right now, they're just getting the Aquarium Co-op fry food and crunched up omega-1 powder. And they just pretty much eat everything. This is kind of neat. I'm just going to show this tank off real fast. Oh, if I can get the glare out. Sean Peck gave me these 2 endlers. And if you look behind, they've already had about 20 fry way up at the top.
If you get an extra male in there, I need to swap some fish with you because Sean Peck gave me the same ones. And within an hour of putting them in the tank, I came back and the male had hopped out. Even with the lid, it was on a fluval tank that has the hole in the middle of the lid for the light. And he had managed to hop out onto that lid and off. But I got a couple of fry from the female, so I'm hoping I've got a male in there.
These are Bob's Santa Maria. What? Gosh.
The Santa Maria.
And this is Santa Maria's. This is a new loach I just bought yesterday for eating snails. He came out just to say hi and left. I think they called him a golden zebra. I bought 6 of them. I put 3 in this tank and 3 in another. I'm wishing I would have put 3 in that farm tank because I have so many snails in there.
So real quick, Sarah Lynn Snow had said one looked like hot pink and yellow. Did I see that right? That was a couple tanks back, though.
There are some with pink. And this is my cat. Okay, so can you knock off this one?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I mean, I guess I could have showed you guys how I've rearranged some of my room, too. You know what? Go back up to that real quick.
Just a second. There we go.
I've moved the 40 breeder over so it's straight on with me. It used to be in this spot close to the door. And I'm going to put the Betta wall in right there.
So we had Daniken said the room's looking amazing. Ed, where was it? Bob Keller's Aquatics had asked Ed, how did mixing the water work out?
Oh, what I did was with that is I went with a 50-50 mix of house water and pond water. And then that was in the 5-gallon bucket that I used. Oh, don't drink my water, buddy. Drink out of the tap hole. I made him a cup of water. See that Chief's cup over there is his, but he always wants mine. Why don't you take it off of this thing so I can have a free hand? Just drop this string. Okay, cool. Let me get his water. Oh, I hit his little tooth. That had to hurt. Here you go. Here.
Aquatic Aesthetics said, I'll hold 3 more for you.
He just ignored mine and ignored his and went straight for my water. That's okay. So, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, the water mixing. It worked out really good. What I did was I did the 50-50 mix outside, and then I brought them into a 10-gallon holding tank in here where I tried to sort them, but it's just constant. And I think that because they're inlers, they can swim through the hole of the tank, the sides of that tank. And so I keep getting the lyre tails all the way on the other end, and I'm constantly taking them back over. But
so your brother Tim's headed off. Good night, Tim. Appreciate you hanging out with us.
Oh, my brother was here?
Yep.
Oh, thanks, Tim, for being here. Oh, I got top chat on it. It doesn't even give me my own brother's chat. That's terrible.
And Bob said, good, I do that every year. Glad it worked out. What's up, Fish Tropic? How are you?
Well, my biggest concern, though, is the tab holes.
Yep.
And also, you see, the blues, I started them a month earlier. I started them in May, and actually 6 weeks earlier. So the tab holes got a good firm hold, I think, of that tank.
Can I share?
I don't know. Go ahead.
I was just to say I was going to share something I'm doing with tadpoles, but go ahead and finish what you're saying.
Okay. Well, I think I really need to do both at the same time as early as possible. And maybe the tadpole, I still think the frogs are going to lay their eggs. So I want to try to figure out a way to keep the frogs out. Blake has a really good video out with how he used mosquito netting to cover his tank in our tubs. And he used the same type of poles that I use for mine to keep the dragonflies out. Mm-hmm. The problem with the mosquito netting is I think it shades the water quite a bit, and I want the mosquitoes in there.
Right.
So it's kind of a catch-52. Is it catch-52? I've got to really plan on trying to figure out how to keep the frogs out. If I'm just going to have to constantly scoop them, or I don't know. I think they're going to have babies no matter what.
Jay Oliver's Guppies at Aquatics says, Fisher Fever, Chattanooga, Ed, you guys are the best. You are the best, as are all of you watching. 60 watching, 44 thumbs ups. I appreciate that. So I scooped some of these guys out of this tank while you were showing your tanks there. These are the half black AOC leopards. I'd put them out in the tub. I didn't get one of those. Actually, I didn't get any males, but
Can you make it big?
Yeah, and I can also move it to where I can actually see because I'm hiding myself behind the chat there. So I just did a experiment this year just to see how the tubs would work out. But I ended up, they dropped a couple drops in there just in the few weeks I had them out. But those are all females, and the fry grew ridiculously quick being outside.
That's a good-looking fish.
And that also kind of goes to show you the clarity. You were asking about the clarity on these containers. Autofocus would be great, but I don't have it on here. So
now, was that a mosaic?
They are. The strain is half black AOC leopard.
Okay.
Those are the ones I got from. Was it Lake Hamilton Guppies down in Florida? I did a video many months ago. But these things are really prolific breeders. The females get massive. They're probably the biggest females I've got out of any of my guppies. They get, if you include the finnage of the tail, they get up to 3 inches. They're just ridiculously huge females.
Well, I think those 10 nymphs were probably eating between 300 and 600 fish a month, probably in that tank. But yet I still ended up with about 4,000 fish. So, and it's going to be such a fun breeding project for me. You know, it's going to definitely give me something to do, and that's what I strive to do. Is have, something I can do that's affordable. Mm-hmm. And it'll probably be a kick in the head. I'll spend like 8 months, maybe 2 years, who knows, trying to get it somewhat right, and then I'll find them exact same thing for sale for $15, and I'll just buy some.
Absolutely. Well, I did do a thing of you can kind of see the ones that have the orange fantail on there, those males. See if I can get I had a bunch of those outside. They did really well. But this is just the mixed mutt guppies.
Oh, I bet you that I don't remember who you said it was. If they asked if I had a bright purple or a bright pink guppy, I have a male guppy that came out violet. Who's just gigantic. So I had some pretty neat mutt guppy action going on there.
Sarah Lynn Snow said, Fisherman Fever and Ed, seeing this makes me want to get some guppies and try the tub thing. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I didn't do it when I should have. I didn't do the full tub season. I just did kind of an experimental tubbing setup the last few weeks just to see how things did. Now that I've got a good idea on how it'll work, and I've also got potential plans to build a tub section out in the yard since I can't garden out there because of all the stray cats turning it into a litter box. I may build a like a 10 by 10 area for some larger tubs like Ed has. Yeah,
I'm just reading what Bob was saying.
Gotcha.
I appreciate all the boy. Everybody's got a whole bunch of great information for me. I'm going to have to go through this one slow afterwards. It kills me. I have to wait 24 hours before I can read all the chat that people said.
Right.
But yeah, Bob. I have to thank Bob for. Oh, night, Dragonlair. Great to see you, man. I have to thank Bob for getting me into tubbing because I was watching him like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, doing his, and it just got the desire for me to go. So next year, what I plan on doing is I want to have 6 tubs. I'm hoping to get enough of these 2 types of endlers, separate them, and put maybe 20 to 40 in each tub. So maybe I can just have a whole tub summer of just those lyre tails and the leopards guys.
And you're using what size tub in case somebody hasn't seen your tub video?
I use the 110. It's an oval tub. It's like a horse trough. You can buy it at Tractor Supply. I think it's $59.99, and it's a really thick plastic. It's really nice.
Those were nice tubs at your house.
Yeah. Oh, and they're amazing. Yes, I am blaming Bob because he has brought me a lot of joy doing that stuff, or entertainment.
I guess I have
And
a residual blame going to Bob, blame going to you first for getting me to attempt it, because you're also one of the people that got me really big into guppies. So, but it's awesome. It's so much fun.
I'm going to do 6 tubs next year. And so I want to do a split between those. Maybe I'll just do a mutt guppy. But I'm going to leave the Japanese blue tails because they're a little fragile. But I think I'm going to probably try some of my platinums. Because you know how amazing it would be to, at the end of the summer if I'd have 1,000 platinums. That'd be so much fun. I might do LRBs. I don't know. I haven't decided what all I'm going to do yet for sure. But yeah, I'm going to put some higher end ones next year to see how that goes, because I think it's just going to be a lot more fun. And you know, even if I just end up with the 250 like I did with those yellows, it's still pretty successful.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to do a fire and ice tub next year. You were mentioning LRB stuff. I've already got quite a few fry from there now, so by the time it gets to tub season again, I should have a ton of those to be able to put a bunch of them outside.
I'd like to do my Nebula Steel. They haven't quite bounced back since that. Well, like I lost like 10 of them, and I don't know. They're just, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, I'll have enough by then, because I'd love to do the Nebula Steel. Maybe I'll buy some from somebody or something. Oh gosh, I should just turn my phone off. I'm not going to do that anymore. But yeah, I really like how the red mosaics, the females look a lot like what you were pulling out, how they have the light blue tails.
Yeah.
And then the boys have this fire red mosaic tail.
Are those really the ones from Indianapolis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some of those too, and I've got the same thing where the females have that blue to them, and then the males have that fire red. But I only got a couple males, I think, though, in the fry, because it was mostly fry. So it's been waiting to see what we actually got. But it looks like I've got quite a few males because they're starting to get some really nice red.
I have one. One male. It's crazy.
I started with one. I had one mature male, but I think I'm going to have quite a few males. So if you need a couple of males, just let me know if they don't have any more when we go up this weekend. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've got a mess of girls. I mean, there's probably, I don't know, I think they put like 6 in each bag or 7 in each bag. And it's bizarre how many females we got. It must have been like having one of those deals where it was like being outnumbered. Like they just always drop females or they always drop males.
Right.
And he must have been in that situation where they're just probably dropping tons of females.
Probably. But I know that on mine, there was one female that you knew it was a female, and there was one male you knew it was a male, and the rest were all too small to be able to even sex yet. But yeah, it's worked out fairly well.
Yeah, and maybe they just haven't hit sexual maturity either yet. So, and they'll turn more red.
Yeah, well, I've been watching for gonopodiums, so I've found a couple, so should be in good shape.
James loves the gonopodiums.
Yeah, I love watching for gonopodiums. I tell you what, that's my thing. I sit and I stare at all these tanks, and I just look for gonopodiums.
Ooh, that one's gonna be pretty someday.
So Deb Hall D says, James and Ed, do you supply your LFSs with guppies? Just curious. I have not. I've got to get pictures. It is a pain in the butt having, 40, 50, 60 different things that need to get listed online for sale and not having any of it on there. I know once I get through the initial getting pictures and all that, but I've got to go through and catch fish so that I can take pictures of fish so that I can upload them and put item descriptions. Long story short, I say that because I'm going to be selling them mostly online. That and most of what I've got are strains. I don't have a lot of just fancy guppies or mutt guppies, which is typically what at least the LFS here look for. They don't usually carry a lot of the designer strains, if you will, because unless you're really a guppy person, a lot of people aren't generally looking for them. They just look at the prices and go, oh, that pet store's got guppies for $20 a pair. That's ridiculous, so.
Yeah, I don't either. I love my local fish stores. It's just, I think I'm a guppy hoarder. I want as many guppies as possible. And it's like, I want as many as I can by next spring, so I'll be able to split their population. So I'm going to leave half in and take half outside, because you never know. Like, I keep going back to Bob's because I've lived through watching his shows, and like he had the tornado that went through and knocked into his tub last year. I mean, you could lose. I've got some mega big trees out there. I could lose a couple tubs, all my tubs, who knows? And I would hate to lose all mine. So I'm always going to have a backup in here. And then maybe if I ever have Virgilians, I'll sell them or give them to friends or trade them. I would love to be able to go to one of these swaps and trade. That'd be pretty neat too. So, but I really want to mix guppies. I want to make guppies. Like Chewy, this tank here I bought for Chewy, and it's Galaxy. Oh gosh, they're LRBs, albino galaxies, and they're really prolific. They don't eat their fry. They're really pretty. And Chewy wants us to mix them with stuff.
Yep, I've got some here that you gave me that I'm going to put with the. They're purple Moscows, but some of the purple Moscows I have got some really, really nice teals to them. So I got to get with Chewy and see if that's what he's looking for, because I know at one time he was looking for something like that. Let's see what we get.
I want to try to send some to Jesse. So I either need to hook up with you or Bob, because I am afraid of doing it myself. Trying to mail them all the way to Hawaii.
Yes. I got my shipping supplies in the mail the other day, so
great.
I got my heat sealer and all my bags and all that stuff. So we're one step closer there. I'm mailing some fish out to Amy. I think Monday. We should, because we'll be back in town Monday. So I'm mailing some fish out to Amy, Sand Creek Aquatics, to Monday. So that is going to be the start of the process, and hopefully that goes well. And I can get into business, so to speak. I put something up there on the screen for you to read, Ed, while I'm going.
Is it from Mississippi?
J. Oliver's Guppies and Aquatics. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. The one fish that I've been seeking like crazy is the red, white, and blue. I keep calling them red, white, and blues. I think a lot of people call them red tail blue Dumbos or something. They've got kind of a red tail with a blue Dumbo front. Or I'd be happy with like a red tail and the tuxedo's like almost a blue tuxedo.
I'm going to post a link because he's got a video that I saw. Here it is, where he did a quick run through of his guppy strains. So I put the link in there. So that way you'll be able to find it super easy.
I've been watching his videos lately. He's pretty awesome. I've got to get some fish from him. We'll have to find out if he has stickers too, because that's another thing that I haven't gotten to yet. But like, these guys I got from a breeder up north. But, I got those from the same guy. I'm going to put LRB on these LRBs. I'm going to put Bob Kaler's on his Santa Fe Inlers. Sean Peck, we got to talk him into getting a sticker. But I know he has like a car window. Maybe I'll have to buy a car window. But I'll put it on that one. I've got something from... I've got Haley's Lacostimus, a couple of hers. Fish Tank Barnes, I've got his goodies right here. I could probably put Father Fish on the wild... mollies that I've got. And Tom Patterson, I'll make one up for him. Let's see. What's Tom? Is Tom's like 2 fingers up, or is that just what he does? No, he's like a picture of a guy with sunglasses. Well, I'll have to.
It's funny because you're listing all these different people's fish, and I'm like, I've got fish from all these people. I don't have any Bob Kaler fish. Isn't that funny?
Yes. Well, and then I've got LRB Inlers. I got Peter, Guppy, not the Guppy Guru.
Mob Guppy.
Mob Guppy. they're both Peters. It's so confusing. And they're both Guppies. And they're both cool guys. But right there, I've got Jesse's. I mean, oh my God, if you could see this right now, it is just crazy beautiful. His, gosh, I'm trying to think. They're his dragons, mosaic dragons. But my problem is I've only got, and I've got one of Pam's Daisy Rice fish just went by. It's been pretty big. I put her babies in here to grow out, but I think there's only one female, so I need to take the female out and put her in a box because I don't know if she's had anything. I may have to ask Jesse for another female, try to buy a female from him. But so I've got just a bunch. I'm trying to collect all the different YouTubers because it's pretty fun. So, yep. Okay. Oh, and then, well, I don't know if you ever told Jess how we lost her Betta, but I told her, and so she said she'd send me a new one, but I feel terrible about that. So I told her that I would put her sticker on the one that you gave me to replace it. And you didn't have to do that either, James.
Well, I wanted to. It died in my possession. I felt bad. So, but the other two are doing fantastic. Like I said, I think it was really some of the plastics that I was using for those larger storage containers. I think they leached some stuff into the water. That's the only thing I could figure, because parameters were fine, feeding was fine, temps were fine, everything was good. So that was the only kind of weird, crazy thing that made any sense remotely as to why some randomly died and the others were perfectly happy and content.
Cichlids would like to see my cichlids. Well, I've got 4 tanks of cichlids. Believe it or not. I've got African cichlids that are murder machines that are always hiding from each other. So I skipped that tank. I've got smiling cichlids in the tank right across from me. I've got angels in my kitchen, and I've got Geophagus, the one that starts with a W, and I've also got Dreadfin Acaras in the 200 in the hallway. So I do have cichlids.
So, Jess, Maintails, Furs, and Fins, I did get your email. I will get back to you. Darn it. Let me get my other chat back up because there were a couple things in here. Where did it go? T-Bone says, all my guppies died when I first started out learning the nitrogen cycle the hard way. Sorry to hear that. That does suck. So what I was going to say earlier was I brought in a bunch of tadpoles to use in cycling a bunch of tanks when I set up a whole bunch of new tanks. I grabbed a bunch of tadpoles from outside to see about cycling tanks with tadpoles. So,
what do they eat? Algae.
Yeah, I mean algae, and then like I've seen them kind of munch around on some other stuff like crushed up flake or whatever. I don't know that that's good for them or not, but generally it's like algae and stuff, which I threw plants in all of those tanks, and a lot of them I actually took hair algae and stuff and threw it in there. Like I've got a whole ton of guppy grass that's quote unquote infested with hair algae. So I threw a bunch of that in there, and I'm sure there are like microorganisms and stuff inside of that. But I actually enjoy the hair algae for most of my guppy tanks anyways.
Well, how I'm cycling this tank down here is I've put a giant old rock from another tank and then 2 used sponge filters. But it'd still be, I do have this little tadpole. But you know what? He's gonna hop out. He's only gonna be this big.
So, where was it? There it is. Sarah Lynn Snow says, how small of a tub can be used for guppies? I want to do one indoors, and can they be kept in the indoor tub year round? So I don't see why they couldn't. And in my opinion, you could even go with like the $12 to $15 plastic storage bins, which I don't know exactly how many gallons those equate to, but they're probably 25-ish gallons, something like that. You could do it in something, that size. You figure a lot of people breed guppies out in 20s and 10s anyways. So Just depends on how many you're really wanting to do.
Just be careful that it doesn't break. Make sure you get a thick one. But
and again, that goes back to the plastic types. I really don't like the clear plastic types most of the time for tubs because that plastic tends to crack easier. There are a few that are different, but it's almost like the specimen containers we looked at in the last stream / a little bit earlier. You can get some that have a lot of flex to them. Those tend to not snap, and then you get the more rigid plastic, and a lot of times that stuff will shatter or incur fractures and splits in the plastic easier.
Chevy fish, I've read everything that tadpoles eat algae except for the bullfrog ones, but I think they munch on baby or fry. I think they munch on young fry because there was no young fry in that tank. So I don't know for sure, but it just seems like they're the villains to me. But somewhere is it Mississippi Hippie? Am I saying that right? I'm trying to remember. If you would like to email me, I'd be happy to pay you for some of those guppies because that would be awesome. I'd love to get some.
That was Jay Oliver's Guppies and Aquatics that mentioned.
No, well that was he, but also Mississippi Hippie said that he had tub grown.
Gotcha.
Gosh, Nebula Steel.
Ooh.
And that would be super cool to get a couple of them because I would love to do those. Yep. He said, Ed, I could give you some Nebula Steels if you want some tub raised ones. That would be awesome. And I'd be happy to pay you for it or pay for shipping. Definitely. If you're still here, hopefully you didn't get offended that I didn't get back to you. I hate to just change the subject real quick. I'm really bad about that. So I try to keep whatever we're talking about go as long as I can before I change it.
And I just jump all over the place with the comments.
Yeah, well, which is cool. But yeah, John Oliver, we got to try to get some of his stuff because he's got some cool stuff, James. And we got to see if he has a sticker that I can put up. It's terrible. I don't know if I'm collecting guppies or collecting stickers to put on the tanks. It's fun.
Absolutely.
Oh no. John Peck is painting his robots and listening to us right now. What?
Hey, Sean,
I've got about 50. Sorry, guys, we're going to divert for just a second because this is something that I'm excited about. We started playing this game called Gaslands, and it's where you make your Matchbox cars into cool stuff. And I think James is making a rice burner set.
Yeah, I've got, they're going to be interchangeable to where I've got about 20 different cars that I can build together into different teams depending upon what I'm playing.
James and I might be making a team tomorrow. Well, not James won't, but I might. I'm going to do, this is going to be the tech team. So I'm going to try to do one tech team, but I can't believe I bought more. I've got like 50 of them in like a shoebox. But I saw these and they look so bizarre. I thought, ooh, that'll be cool for tech stuff.
Yeah, I've got it. Well, so what I've done now is I've changed my approach. At first, before I even played, I just made some cars that I thought would look like cool post-apocalyptic cars. Now that I've played it, I'm designing the cars based upon teams and strategies and what actual weapons they'll have. And then I'm going back and I'm building the cars based off of those dashboards or those cards that I've made. So I'm going to create the cars on paper, and then however I make them is how I'm going to go back and model the physical car. That way, if I say I've got a car with, 2 heavy machine guns on it, I actually have a car physically with 2 heavy machine guns on it. So I'm having fun just building out the loadouts, if you will.
Yep. Let's go back to the fish talk because we probably put everybody to sleep. Sorry, guys. Normally, if you want to talk games, check out the Lefty Show at 4:00. I'll be on Fridays, almost every Friday, but Friday tomorrow because Lefty's got overtime any other time, Lefty and I will be talking games for about 1 to 2 hours. And we also talk fish and everything else.
And I feel like there's somebody else that also has a gaming channel that you didn't mention. Sean
Peck has a gaming channel too. He also has a really good fish tube channel. But Sean also does reviews on games like once every couple weeks or once a month or something. I don't know for sure what his setup is. Let's see. Now, what did Rob from Aquatic Aesthetics? You know, I can say it better when I don't look at it. Right. Bob, come see me. Just got in some new. Okay, well, we'll check that out later. I don't think that's for everybody. Oh, awesome, Mississippi. If you could friend me on Facebook, that would be wonderful. Rob from Aquatic Aesthetics is our local fish store guy, and he is awesome and amazing. Super cool. And his wife is awesome, too. What's a good email? Let's see. It's okay. Is it all right to type my email on here?
I mean, I don't see why not.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll have a mod delete it or something in a minute.
So we had somebody ask, I think, about keeping a betta with guppies. There it is. T-Bone said, can guppies live with a betta? They could, but you're potentially going to have the betta predate on the fry, of course, being a big thing. Another thing I've noticed is dependent upon the finnage of the guppies. So if you've got some guppies with some really big tails, and different tail styles and colors, sometimes, of course, every fish being different, you can get bettas that are more aggressive towards those because they may feel like it's more betta-ish than guppy-ish. So it's, again, one of those things where you kind of have to look at the individual fish, take their attitudes into account, and go from there and see how it works, and just keep an eye on them.
Mississippi, I just realized I popped my second account for my screen watching. So that's why it's like the Chattanooga Ed, and it's not like in a different color. I do that because it's just easier for me to do to make sure that channel is always muted, so I don't hear like double stuff. That probably makes sense. Got it. Thanks. Cool. And then let's see. I'm going to click this and see if I can remove it.
John Cox said, like I said, endlers go good with bettas, but a few fry get eaten, but that is normal in community tanks. Absolutely. Somebody had mentioned female bettas with their guppies.
Candy, are you able to delete the Chattanooga Ed with my email? Because I don't know how to without.
She's got it.
Oh, I just hit remove. Maybe she got it before me. She's probably did. But thank you so much.
See, that's why I have a special email, because, you know, I don't care who knows the Fisherman Fever at Gmail. I
mean, yeah. And I've had that email for almost 20-some years, so it's not that big of a deal. Right. Okay, so I'm sorry I lost my... What did John Cox say? Bettas make great community fish?
John had said endlers go good with bettas, but a few fry get eaten, but that is normal in community tanks. And then he followed up with female bettas still attack male guppies that have the large finnage. Makes sense.
Wow. Yeah, I've always kept them, but, you know, I don't know if I've kept them with guppies. I've normally kept them with swordtails and mollies. Mollies and swordtails have always been kind of my go-to growing up. I don't know why. I just love them both. And right now, swordtails are one of the few live bears I don't have. I just realized that. I don't have half beaks, and I don't have swordtails. And I would like to do a swordtail tub next year, because it takes a while for swordtails to get big, but I want to see them in a tub. That'd be so cool. Okay. Sorry, I digress.
Oh, you're good. I was just going to ask how long you wanted to run tonight, buddy.
Oh, gosh.
I know we went up a little bit on my stream overlapping into yours.
Yeah, but Aquarium Thought, not Aquarium Thought. Is it Aquarium Thoughts? Or
Dave's Aquarium Thoughts.
Yeah, we don't want to run over him.
I think he goes at 130 unless he's moved forward. He may have moved forward, but can you keep? Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Sarah Lynn Snow said, "Can you keep cherry shrimp with guppies?" So yes, absolutely, you can. Keep in mind you're going to have some of that natural predation on the shrimplets, but the big thing there is to have lots of plants, lots of cover places, or even rock work and woodwork that the shrimp can get into. I keep cherry shrimp in pretty much every tank, including the 75-gallon mutt guppy tank, and the shrimp still breed out even with several hundred mutt guppies in there.
Yeah, I think guppies in every single tank. Oh, man. Those new loaches are swimming in the front of Bob's tank. They're so pretty. I got those at Aquatic Aesthetics. But, yeah, I keep shrimp everywhere because I want the shrimplets for the babies or for the adults. So, okay, Dave says that I have another hour. So we won't go a whole hour. Maybe we'll go 15 minutes. And we'll call it there because I don't want to keep James up all night either.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't wake up until 7 p.m. I do have stuff I need to do, but if you want to go, it's 20 till. If you wanted to go till 1 a.m., that gives kind of a 30-minute window before Dave starts.
Oh, yeah, that'll work good. And I cooked kielbasa today, so I'm gonna go get some more of that when this is done. Oh, so good. I put in an electric frying pan and just cook it that way. Oh man, I wish I could have mustard, but I'm allergic to it.
That does sound good. Now I'm getting hungry again.
But yeah, so eventually someday I am gonna get some of Dan from Get Gills, some of his half beaks because they're so cool. Priscilla tells me to stop saying food, talking about food, and all she did was pop food last stream, making me hungry for the kielbasas again.
Hey, that's okay. She sent money with it, so I'm not complaining in the least. Where was it? Somebody had mentioned swordtails were jumpers. I don't know where it is. I've missed it now. Oh, it was Chevy Fish. Hey, Chevy Fish. Chevy Fish said swordtails were jumpers. But you fortunately have lids on all of yours. I need to start building some more lids. But there's a lot of remodeling to do here.
I keep the lids help keep the heat in, and they also help keep all the humidity in. I don't have as much evaporation. I have a dehumidifier at the front of the door because I was starting to get mold in my basement on like my furniture and stuff because of all the humidity. So I had to clean that stuff up with vinegar and water and dehumidifier. But then I also have an air vent, like a bathroom vent, but I had to hot rod it so it would pump more out because it's just a little too long of a pipe. So I bought a thing in the middle that helps suck also. Push it out.
Very nice. Priscilla says, would throw some more pie and peaches if I could. Make sure to sub people so Ed can get super chats. Yes, Ed is almost to 600 subscribers now. So if you have made your way here from the Aquaholics Anonymous stream and you're not subscribed to Chattanooga Ed, do me a favor, subscribe. He's an awesome guy, and he is he's kind enough to co-host for just about everybody out there. He's all over the place. So we'd love to get his channel to 1,000 subscribers because I think he deserves it.
It's so strange going this direction.
Yeah.
I'm always doing this direction. So
yeah,
there we go.
But I figure with this being your show, I swap us around now that we have that ability. But somebody had made a very good point. It was John Cox said, swords are jumpers. Jumped on me there. So if in tubs you need water down 5 to 6 inches and plenty of floating plants. So great tips there if you're going to put swords in tubs.
Now, that's one thing is I always kept my tubs 5 to 6 inches just because of a huge rainstorm. I didn't want them to overflow. I know you can drill them and do the sponge it and make it so fish can't get through. But I just didn't want to drill those big, awesome tanks. And I mean, this has been one of the rainiest years in Chattanooga history. And I mean, it's still raining now. We got the hurricane, and it's like just sitting on us. And I say hurricane, it's the one that's coming. We have no wind. It's just rain.
Yep.
But it's raining. I had to get an umbrella to go out and get the mosquito, or not the mosquito nymphs, the dragonfly nymphs. Oh, they're nasty little guys. If you want to see a better photo of those, you guys can check it out on my Instagram because I've got one there real close up.
Very nice. And like Ed had alluded to, I had smaller tubs, so I did go with the drilling a hole and plugging it with sponge. If you're going to do that, I did a video, but basically just take your cube of sponge and then cut, not all the way through it, but cut a circle all the way around in the center so that the sponge can be expanded out in all directions, and it sits in that hole and keeps it from moving. And then that rainwater can drain out, because that was the problem I had with smaller tubs, was making sure the rain didn't overflow the top and, you lose fry and fishies and all that stuff we don't want to do.
Oh, man, Sharpies is here. Sharpies. I've made some of my cars.
See, Ed's back on the cars.
I know. I won't talk long on the cars, but Sharpie's here. I transformed some of my cars last week. So we'll have to do that sometime. If you ever want to, I wanted to see if Sharpies would ever want to transform cars at the same time as me. I love making things and talking to people while I make them. I mean, you guys probably already figured that out, but it like makes me go twice as fast. It's crazy.
And I spend forever making mine. Like, I'm sitting there with the little pieces of sandpaper, like doing body work on the cars, getting them all primed out.
Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah. I think I'm a speedster. I'd love to get ripped through them. I did all 4 of my cars last week in about 2.5 hours.
Oh, I spend like 8 hours on one car. I said, I'm like, nope, that looks like it needs sanded a little bit more. And I'm sitting there doing this.
Now, you see, I use a Dremel. I'm looking at my tank, and there's a fish. Before the stream started, I pulled him out, and I put him on this side. So he's getting through that pea-size hole. Because I can see him chasing a girl on this side now. The girls on his side just weren't good enough, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're going to end up having to put some mesh on there.
Well, I mean, like I said, I don't care what comes out of those tanks. I'm just using it for they're like my studs.
Gotcha.
So I might try to pull babies out eventually and throw them in the fry tank. Because the fry tank is like my waiting tank, and then they get separated into like the troughs where the girls will grow out. And then I'll take girls and put them on top with the boys they'll probably have like 6 to 8 dedicated 5-gallon tanks for breeding them out. So there's just going to be just a giant process of these things trying to make them look good. And it's so crazy. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm hoping it'll work.
T-Bone's got a good fishy question. It says, what type of fish do you want that you're not allowed to have? For me, it's a greenback tailor. It's a saltwater fish. So for me, it would be snakehead. I would love to be able to own a snakehead. I like the things that can chomp on me.
Man, I'd probably go back to my red, white, and blue guppies. I haven't been able to find. And the reason why I want these so bad is my dad had red, white, and blue guppies, and he used to breed them for about a decade and sell them all over Missouri and Kansas when I lived in Kansas City. And it's kind of a nostalgic thing, that's why I want them so bad.
Do you have one that's, and there's not a lot here that's illegal to own. Of course, you've got like Asian arowana, but Tennessee's really, actually, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to change it from the Shanna or the snakehead. There is a blue darter that is endemic to eastern and middle Tennessee. It's endangered, and I can't have them. And I would love to be able to have those. Beautiful little fish that's only here locally in Tennessee. So if I could have a fish that I'm not legally allowed to have, it would be that, because they're pretty and they're an awesome local thing.
But now that might have to be a really cold water fish too.
Yeah, possibly.
So you may have to, I don't know. But that would be cool. I'm not naysaying it. I don't know. I'm not really big into different things. I don't know why. I mean, it would be neat to have an Asian arowana that nobody else has.
Right.
But I don't want to waste. I don't want a 1,500-gallon tank when I could have a whole, I could have, what, 18 or 20-some 20-gallon tanks set up on a rack with guppies. I would much rather have that than one of those.
I can understand that. Where was it? Tammy Johnson says, hey, Ed, Rob said up at the top on your acrylics where the spray bar goes through is probably where they are getting through to the other tanks. Use sponge to stuff into the holes.
Oh, I sealed those up. Right now, the tanks are about 4 inches short from being full. I could fill them more. I stopped about there, and I siliconed that big hole. So I think they're going through just that little pee hole through the side. It's so funny. But they're inlers, so they're really skinny fish. Their tails, though, are kind of like at the big guppy tail with this little bitty body. I love them. But I think they're just going right through the holes. Now, the fish that have a lot more guppy DNA, and the females, they're all stuck in their sides because they're too big to go through the holes. But these boys, but it just doesn't matter. It's just for me to be able to grab them and identify them easier. So
Absolutely.
If it mattered more to me, I would cover them up. When I got it from Aquatic Aesthetics, they put these plastic sheets in there, and they were just kind of sideways in there. I could put those back in if it was a big deal, but right now I kind of like the water flow and just keeping it all open. So at least I'm keeping the guppies that I want. What I tried to do is separate the guppies or the females, so there was an equal amount of females in each one.
Right.
So that way they won't go crazy over, one pack of females. Won't just, and one might only have 2 females, and then they would just get harassed. It's terrible.
So John Cox said, Barren Fork top minnow is very endangered killie from my hometown of McMinnville. I found a new location that Fish and Game did not know about. I got in trouble for catching and taking a picture of it, but got thanked for finding a new location. Very, very cool. Try not to get in too much trouble. And I love Sharpie's Models and Aquatics. It's the first time I've seen someone use devil horns to describe a guppy.
They got them. All right, but yep. I don't know what I was going to say. The devil horns threw me off. But yeah, I'm still trying to think of a fish that I can't have. I wish I could get a stingray that stayed like the silver dollar pancake size, instead of the full pancake size or the giant pancake size. But I don't think they make those, so yeah. Our Taco Bell closes at 5 also. Well, no, maybe it's 4 here, so. We were talking about Taco Bell, though, in James's stream, Miles. Yeah. You missed it. Yep, it's 12:52 here. I'm on the same time zone as Miami.
Sarah Lynn says, Chandler, thank you. It makes me happy to see someone with pure joy on their face.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm also in a good mood because my cat's not aggravating me too bad.
Right. Nico, get down.
Well, I think he's trying to. It's like he keeps pushing and moving the cars, the Matchbox car packages, but I don't care if he bends those up. So
right.
And he obviously doesn't know English that well because he'd just stop if he knew I didn't mind.
So Priscilla said, Fisherman Fever, they legalized piranhas here finally. Yeah, that would be one. I'm fortunate to be in a state that piranhas are legal. But if I were in one of many, many states that they are not legal in, that would be the fish that I would go for. But since I'm kind of in that loophole of being allowed to have them, they were not my go-to fish. But anywhere else, if they were illegal, that would be the fish I'd want to have.
Man, I still can't think of a fish. Okay, how about I wish I had a mandarin goby. A saltwater fish.
Yep.
I don't have any saltwater. So that's something I can't have right now is saltwater. I don't know.
I think that works.
Oh, you know what? How about those Australian honey eyes?
Honey Blue Eyes? Is that what they are?
Yes. I would like to have those. Thank you, GRB, by saying Australia. Because I would get those and then I would try to reproduce them and send them to Pam.
There you
go. That would be one of my goals.
Oh, so we've got about 7 minutes left. Aquatic Aesthetics said, I'll help you there. I'm sure that was in reference to the saltwater tanks.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't have space for saltwater yet. Someday. My friend back in Missouri, he promised me a 72-inch bow front that I thought I would spin around and put the bow in the back and try to do corals all along the back. And then get like a goby from him and do that.
It absolutely hates bow front tanks.
What?
I said you absolutely hate bow front tanks.
Well, I don't know if I could say hate them. I just think it'd be cool to use that bow front to make the stuffed bow backwards.
Right. I just say anytime bow fronts are mentioned, the first thing you say is I'd flip it around.
Oh, well, they're easier to clean. I don't like cleaning backs of tanks, and so the round back isn't a problem.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry about that. I'll try to remember not to keep saying that.
I just find it funny because anytime a bow front's ever been mentioned, your first comment is always, well, I'd turn it around backwards.
You're right. I would, because I love the idea of having extra space in the back for fake walls or corals or anything.
Oh, goodness.
Yep.
Let's see here. So if you've got any final questions, feel free to throw those in there. We've got about 5 minutes left. Excuse me. And then we're going to get out of here. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of bow fronts in general, but I do think they have their specific setups that they look really nice for. I really like saltwater bow fronts with the bow the normal way.
And they look like they're an amazing like showpiece. Yeah. Like if you've got a wife that doesn't let you have but one tank in your house, maybe a giant big old bow front would look really neat in your living room or something. So I totally get that. Yeah, those Priscilla says she likes those round corner ones. I would love to get one of those round corner ones because I'd make that into a reef tank. I'd have this whole corner to build. That'd be really neat.
I have the not rounded corner tank, but I have one of the corner tanks. It's the older style that has the angles to it. So it's got a front piece, 2 large side pieces, and then it sits in the corner. But
I didn't realize that was the back. I thought that was the front. That one.
Oh, gotcha. Let's see here. Cichlids 23 says, I just need a 15 foot by 5 foot by 5 foot tank, and I promise I'll be happy. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be?
You see, like James and we've talked, I could build one of those in my basement. And I thought about doing like Dantoids, but I'd probably make it like 8 foot high. I'd make it taller. And I don't know if I'd make it 15 foot long. I'd probably make it like 10 to 12.
Yeah, just make sure you don't pull an LRB and mess with your foundation too much.
Yeah. Well, I'm on a mountain. I should be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about the buffering. I noticed a couple people said there's buffering, but we are almost done here. Hopefully it'll catch back up. But that's kind of one of the things when you've got fish rooms like we've got, bow fronts really aren't. They just don't really fit into the blend, if you will. I had the choice. I had a 72-gallon bow front, and I could either have that one nice tank on its, fancy stand, or I could replace it with a rack of 16 10 gallons on end in that same 4 foot floor space. And so I replaced that one tank with 16 10-gallon tanks on a rack. So they're great showpieces, like you mentioned, but when you're trying to do, lots of tanks or have kind of a modular design, they kind of get in the way, if you will.
A tank I would love to have is that round one that I saw it on all the videos of Aquashella, where you saw all the, I don't know if they're cardinal tetras or neon tetras and rams, how they would go in circles.
Yeah.
But I'd probably have to move my bubble hockey table, and I don't know if I'd want to do that.
Don't do that. That bubble hockey is fun stuff.
Yeah.
Peck Tech says good night, everyone. Sean, have a great night. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yep. Night. Oh, hey, Sean, look. I was wearing your shirt.
Jay Oliver, Guppies and Aquatics is Chattanooga Ed Fisher Fever. I really appreciate all you guys do for the hobby. Thank you. I really appreciate it. We appreciate you all. You know, we're just a couple of goofy guys with a bunch of fish tanks. So it's awesome to be able to hang out with you all and have y'all answer some of our questions, answer some of y'all's questions, and kind of brainstorm as a community.
Yeah, I don't know if I really do anything for the community. Except like we can talk. And that's what's fun. Yes. Because, you know, I don't have any master brain or anything. I mean, he's awesome at his stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of fun and we're having a good time.
Well, one thing I have found, and I don't claim to be an expert or a master of anything, but I have found that when you've got 40, 60, 90 tanks, your learning curve changes in the sense that you can figure things out a lot more quickly versus if you've got maybe 4 or 5 tanks and you keep trying different things and making different mistakes or trying different methods and this kind of works. Whereas if you've got, 90 tanks, you can try 20 different methods, and not be impacting your regular fish tank setups, if you will. So it does kind of give you a cheat, if you will, having lots of extra tanks to play around with different things.
It's just so much fun.
It is. It really, really is. Well, I'm going to say thank you, everyone, for being here. We got 51 people watching, got up to 60 thumbs ups tonight. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Of course, the mods, y'all are awesome. The lurkers, the listeners, the participators. And I appreciate you all. And everybody that came here from the earlier stream, thank you again for hanging out there. And I'll turn it over to our host, Chattanooga Ed.
Yeah, guys, I'm reading all the nice things. I appreciate it all. Thank you, everybody, for coming and just having a good time with us all. And thank you for all of our great mods. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate everything you guys do. And I could go through all the names, but I don't want to because I might miss somebody. But, yep, guys, let's see if I can say it better. Don't be afraid to get your – oh, man. Don't be afraid to have fun in your fish tanks. Get your hands wet.